we're live. Can we confirm we're live with anybody, please? I'm having some weird StreamYard stuff happening, but it says we're live. And look at this. I have ALEY, Heart and Soul Connected, my Friday night date night. I get two Friday nights with her, and I'm so blessed and excited. But I just did a show with Kaylee, Fearless Fridays, and we were doing some readings and talking about, the energies coming in. And ALEY and I, of course, are talking about the energies and what's going on out in the world and how they really are doing psychological damage on the population. It is a psyop, and we all need to be aware of that because it's designed to wear us out. Right?
Yeah.
Right, ALEY? What
Absolutely.
do you think?
Absolutely. It's everybody's like, I was telling Val, we are so bombarded with all these things all at once. Like even just today, we had Epstein files dropped. We have Don Lemon now being arrested for being a journalist.
Yes.
We have 5 or 6 other crazy things that we don't even, and it's like, look over here, look over here, look over here, look over here. And they want us not to look at anything or to overwhelm us so that we go, oh, I got to back off all of this. I don't want to know anything more. So that he can do all these things without any complaining from anybody. So
see,
it is.
And this is the hard part, right? Because there's some horrific things. We heard about what happened to Sasha. He's coming out and speaking out.
Yes.
We're seeing the things, with the raping of these children, that they're in cages. They're measuring their private parts so men can buy them. That's in the stuff that was released today. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get graphic, but the reason why I'm getting graphic is because I don't want us to be desensitized, but we have to be able to face what is actually fact now. We know that this person is a pedophile, and most everybody he knows is one, and they're running the nation, the world. But see, this is where astrology comes in for a lot of us. We are. Astrology is saying it. We're entering a new era. The old era is closing down, and how my guides show it to me is that as the old era is closing down, this is what they do. They're like parasites in their death throes. They're throwing everything they got at us, right? And I mean, to really know and to face the fact that this is how humanity has been treated, and this has been thousands and thousands of years, and this is where this new era, this new golden age is coming in. We're closing down the age of Pisces. We're going into the age of Aquarius, but we're in the chaos period now. And I'm not saying that, all of a sudden one day everything's just going to be perfect, but we will not be living with parasites, where it's all about profiting over people. That is changing. I know it doesn't look like it. I know it doesn't, but it's in the astrology. And this is why I got into the astrology originally. I mean, I was always into it, but as I was getting really into taking a lot of classes, and then he says he's going to run in 2015, and I'm like, let me look at this. I don't see him running, and there it was. He is running, and there's going to be a shit show, a circus, and here we are. I just can't believe that this second time around, everybody knows he didn't win either time. That's in our community. I think we have a consensus on that. He did not win. He admitted, cheated, and manipulated the election results that I know of 5 times. So who there's no adults above him. There's no adults around that could have stopped this, or are all those adults in these files too? And there's where it gets really disturbing, because it comes down to the people. We, the people, have to stand up and say no more. And this is why, in my opinion, the general strike should go on until all of our requirements are met. I'm extreme though, and I know I sound extreme, but I don't see us getting out of it any other way. Do you?
No, that there has, and I can't tell you how proud I am of the Minnesota people. They
No,
are amazing,
not
and
we.
they're just not going to back down. And they've got them. There's something about their spirit especially since the George Floyd um, horror show up that was up there a few years ago. They just absolutely are dedicated to their people that live there and to
Mhm.
being free. And today I saw another protest march where they were all out there and they were being interviewed. But that was the other thing in the release of the Epstein files today. Elon Musk was having a conversation in 2012 with Epstein, saying he wanted to come to the island.
Mhm.
That was shown, and there are pictures that have come out that are showing different other people. And Lutnick, who said he said, "Oh yeah, my wife and I live next door to Epstein, and we were invited over, and we were very disturbed by what we saw, and we decided we didn't want anything to do with him." Well, that was at a certain time, and in the files today, he was communicating with him like a couple of years later,
Mhm.
saying he wanted to see him and meet
Mhm.
with him and all that.
And this is just it, right? This is an insidious
Yeah,
group
yeah.
of I call them heartless and soulless. I'm sure not all of them are, but anybody. Well, let me retract that. Anybody would touch children and do things like this, and go specifically to an island where they can be safe to do things like this, are uh, despicable.
Yeah.
And they have power. They have money,
Yeah.
and to me,
They really just don't care about anything either. I
no,
mean,
they
really.
no. It is all about
Mhm.
their desires, right? But
Mhm.
what's even worse is, right, these are world leaders or billionaires, CEOs of corporations and things like that, that really have power in how our government works. And if we want to go into even to another deeper layer with Epstein, he's a Mossad agent. I
Mhm.
mean, this kind of talk, nobody wants to say this stuff out loud. And I get it, but if we don't realize what role
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
country has played in our politics since 1948, we're really not looking at the true reality. And it is a very, very hard thing to look at. I am not against any religion, any people at all, but I am against extremists. I am
Yeah.
against Zionists. I am
Mhm.
against the extremists in this country who think it's all this um, uh, Christian, what's it called? Where they're really extreme. What's that word?
Nationalists, Christian
National.
nationalists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't even realize who they're actually
No.
supporting, and it's not Christianity. Let's
No.
say that. Um, and obviously, Ali and I, we are spiritual people. I don't believe in organized religion. I think it's caused all the problems of the world throughout time. So
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that there isn't good things in there,
No. Yeah. Yeah.
but
I
I'm not.
agree with that. The other thing that happened, I think it was yesterday, Valerie, was that Tulsi Gabbard, who has been well known as a propagandist and a Russian asset as
Hmm.
well, shows up
Hmm.
in Georgia
Hmm.
with the FBI so they could go in and they could get the ballots from the 2020 election.
Hmm.
This is,
And
see, you just keep bringing up the old shit over and over
mhm.
again to keep people distracted. Yeah.
My guides told me once a long time ago when they were trying to help me discern, right? Discernment's a big thing
Yeah.
when you're talking with your guides and when you're opening up to your gifts and abilities. And I asked, well, how do I? Oh, geez, Allie, my mind just went. Boop. What was it you just commented on? So come back to
About
me.
them with the 2020 election.
Okay,
being
that,
yeah.
oh, here, that the parasites, the dark, and my team, they, they don't like
Mhm.
throw hate at them or anything. It's just that they are heartless and soulless. That's how my team calls them.
Uh-huh.
They will, for their, and you got to think of it like as dark wizards, like dark magic. For their magic to work, they have to tell you what they're doing, like in movies, in books, straight up going
Yeah.
after these votes, right? These votes that I was denied when it's part of their entire psyop, their entire way of creating
Mm-hmm.
the reality that they have learned how to create for thousands of years, and they're pretty damn good at
Mm-hmm.
it. Um,
Yeah.
but I don't know how a court allowed that. But nothing's like it was. Nothing's just
Yeah.
there is no laws. There's
Yeah.
no laws. This
Every
is where it
time
comes down.
something new happens where he signs a executive order, my husband says, "Oh, they can't do that." And I said, "Honey, I know that. You know that, but everybody just does what he wants, and they do it all the
That's it.
time." He even posted yesterday that the Melania movie is such an important movie that he's going to require, however he can do that, that all students in history classes must watch this from elementary school through college level.
Oh, so we're supposed to watch how a hooker, or actually, I believe she was trafficked, but I think she put herself
Mhm.
in there and then,
Yeah,
became just like them. But
yeah,
she has that. I, I think she's his handler in more than one
yeah,
way. But
yeah,
you know,
yeah. They don't have a
um,
romance; they have a business deal.
yeah,
That's what it is.
this is
Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah.
she listens to him, and it's
Mhm.
there. She has something on him, and I think it's got to do, with what we all
Sure.
are
Yeah.
I'm
But she's just as
finding
bad as
out.
he is. Don't you think she's just as bad? She is. I don't
As soon
think
as she came out,
she
yeah,
yeah,
with that "I don't care" code on. As soon
yeah,
as she came, I was hoping back then that maybe maybe
yeah,
she'll
no.
come through
She
and
has no
she'll
heart.
have some heart, no heart. And that's
No
just
heart.
it. This is really
Yeah.
what we're dealing with. And I
Mhm.
don't say this for fear. I say this so you can face fear, all of these
Mhm.
fears deeply.
Yeah.
They are heartless and soulless. There's
Well, there's no compassion or
no,
empathy for sure.
no,
Yeah.
there's no redeeming qualities. They might
Mhm.
have a lot of money and can do a lot of cool things, but that's
Yeah.
not helping humanity, because what they're doing over in Gaza
Mhm.
and taking
Mm.
over that area,
Mhm.
and they're going to make that the Gaza resort now, right? And they're going
Mhm.
to rebuild, and it's comes down to, I watched this video yesterday where there's zones, and all the workers live on the outside, just like in the old days of feudalism and things like that, right?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
you're locked in with AI, you're locked in with surveillance, you're locked in, and everybody knows everybody's move, and you can't go anywhere. Well, that's their testing ground. What do you think they're,
Mhm.
if they succeed, if humanity doesn't stand up against them, and it looks like it's got to start with America first.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, look at what they do have, and again, not to put fear, because I don't believe that they're going to take over. I just don't believe it. My team assures
Well,
me
look at
that.
how much he's backed down. I mean, he backed down on Greenland because the military said, no, we're not going to invade Greenland. And then he backed down initially, at least, on Minnesota at the time. Now he's saying that, oh yeah, Alex Preddy. There's another video of him, and he spit at the people of ICE, and then he kicked
Of course, he.
the light in the back of the car out
I
or
mean,
something.
wouldn't we
And
all be? Wouldn't we all be? He's
yeah,
going over to pick up a woman they just threw to the ground, which
yeah,
I'm sure wasn't the first time he saw that. So whatever video they say they might have, I mean, we would. How do you
yeah.
fight against? They're
What if
using
it's
that.
AI? Yeah, yeah.
What do they use it? They're using tear gas. It's not even allowed in war.
Right.
on American citizens, and they're using that weapons with the sound, with the noise. It
Yes.
literally can make you deaf. It blow your eardrums out. If you
Yep.
have, I mean, if you got to spit and kick, I mean, I know I'll do that if it comes to my town in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit around.
That's
But
the thing. We all have to be willing to stand up. And if we don't know enough about it, I'm not suggesting we live in the news at all, but they're
no,
trying to just keep overwhelming us so that they can propagandize and
yeah.
they can create chaos and give us PTSD and other things. Bora Bora Janet wonders if you know about the 5 to 9 inches coming of snow in your pathway.
It's kind of it's
Yeah.
vacillating. So it's like all the models are showing. Well, it could be really really bad, you know. And this is another thing, right? Along with the news, we get these extreme weather events, right? Look at all the extreme events. Every day there's a new. Oh, you know. So you get to the point where you don't even. Yeah, we got the last snowstorm. I was prepared for that. I think everybody was, but this is just like skimming the coast. So, I mean, it's a hell of a way for humanity to live in this constant level of extreme PTSD.
Right.
How do we got to come into, this is what ALEY and I were talking to in the back. It's how do we soothe our nervous systems, which our nervous systems are being upgraded. The frequencies coming onto Earth are higher level frequencies. And this is why they're fighting so bad. They're trying to they're throwing everything they can at the sun, at spirit. You're not going to win. You know, they're fighting. They're literally in their death throes. But and I believe this. I believe those of us here chose to come here to be a part of this. This is an epic journey in an epic time in history. You know what it is. It does come to me. I've reduced it down to, well, we have a choice. We can allow them to take our rights and our freedoms and suppress us and enslave us further, or we stand up for our rights and freedoms. And I don't care if I die. I don't. I will die to help.
Yeah, it's a hill that I will stand on.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. The other thing that's very fascinating to me is that the Second Amendment is a huge thing particularly for MAGA. I mean, and I'm not saying that anybody else doesn't feel that way. That's liberal. Even some people do. They like hunting. They want their guns. But now it's fascinating that somebody like Rittenhouse had his gun in Minneapolis, and it was fine for him to walk around and shoot and kill people with it. But it's not all right for Alex Preddy to have his, even though he had a permit to carry it. So there's a lot of that going on, and Trump's worried. He called Tim Walz.
Okay.
It wasn't. Yeah.
So we have to be aware, right? We're dealing with narcissists. We're dealing with, I mean, the worst level of narcissism that we could ever imagine. We're being gaslit every second of the day by this administration. I don't even want to call them that. This regime, and anyone that supports them. They own the media. Look, they just arrested Don Lemon for being they're trying to take our rights. There we are. They're trying to take the right of freedom, trying to take the right to peaceful protest, trying to take the right to
First Amendment,
to freedom of the press. I mean, we
and gun rights. This is what will bring MAGA down.
Yeah, and even them, I see them in the chat. Well, and in the chats, there's a lot of fake MAGA chatbots. That's $1 billion. That's billions of dollars business that's going on. So we don't know what's up, what's down, what's true, what's fake. Okay, now when we get those videos like we got with Mr. Preddy, right? You can't deny what happened there. That it came out from other people. They post them immediately. Yeah. Those are the
all
only
angles. All angles were shown.
And that's all I trust. That's all I
didn't know Miller was talking about taking guns from Democrats. You know, this is what they want to do. They want to keep dividing us
Mhm.
into the Democrats are the other. They're the boogeyman, and they have no understanding at all that the division is creating. It's just like the Civil War division that we
Mhm.
had, where people would fight against their own brothers, their own
Well,
parents, their
well,
own. Yeah,
and
yeah.
this is the reason why they defunded education slowly over time. They did not educate the South. A lot of these places where we're heavily Republican, and I mean, it's clear to see. It's obvious right now, right?
Mhm.
So we have to know that this is a psyop. They are narcissists. We're being gaslit, and we have no support. We have support of the world, but we don't have media support. We don't have any big names supporting us, very few. They
Mhm.
want to, now he wants to arrest Obama. Well, what?
Oh yeah, like
What?
that's some fake thing that came
Yeah.
through. Yeah.
So it's like he's never going to stop because he doesn't want the Trump files released. Okay. Epstein worked for him. This is why
That's what I really think too. I
yeah,
do. I
I
think
know
so
it.
because he's just such a mafia guy. He
He
just
is. And
he doesn't care about anybody.
no.
Um,
And when he was in New York, like in the 70s, 80s, where I grew up on the East Coast, I couldn't stand him. He was, always in
mhm,
the news, always,
yeah,
just
yeah.
and then he treats our world like a reality TV show. That's his mentality, right? So his mentor was Roy Cohn, and if you know anything about Roy Cohn and how vile he and McCarthy were, um, here they are blackballing Hollywood stars for being gay, and those two were lovers for 30 plus years. So, this is the guy he learned from, and
Mhm.
he he we only have one ally left, Israel, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I don't see what it has to come down to. We the people, and it has to be a general strike because I don't want violence. I don't want anyone to get hurt, but we got to stop buying, stop purchasing, stop participating. It takes 3.4% of the working population for a, a general strike, nationwide general strike, to be successful. Everyone else can be this support team. We have to do
Um,
something extreme.
it's interesting too. The other night on Lawrence O'Donnell, he talked about how all protests um, have the same sort of thing that goes on. And what happens is we get out there and we protest, people will die,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually whatever you're protesting about will change things. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that it's just that they don't figure that out early enough. They make people, go through all these hoops and stuff. Um, and some of the other things that were, of course, brought up were young people. And, Kent State, 1970. I remember it like it was yesterday, hearing about the
Mm-hmm.
students being gunned down out there. And the people that are these ICE agents, they're all Proud Boys. They're all Boogaloo Boys.
Mm-hmm.
They're all the militia kids. And they don't care
KKK.
about anything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about
Mm-hmm.
anything. Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
the same boys that didn't get educated, right? They didn't. They
Right.
just were told, whatever kind of abusive home they grew up in. Because let's face it, every child pretty much has endured some sort of abuse, sexual, physical, mental,
Yeah.
emotional. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how they have this whole setup here on Earth, or how the old Earth was set up, right? So we are watching it all come apart because it's going away. This is not going to be, and my guides keep reminding me, how many times has humanity come through something horrible, wars, all kinds of things, and we always come out better on the other side because we've been steadily being going up the spiral, right? But the energies weren't here to really pull us up there that fast. Well, the energies have been coming in since 1987, and then 2012 got big, and these frequencies have been flooded onto the earth to where we're all awakening. Look how many people are awake, but look how many aren't. There's the division. There's that Neptune, right? The illusion, delusion. They've had 14 years to come through that and haven't. They're doubled down on their ignorance, right? So instead of growth, instead of like most of us here connecting to our hearts and growing, they're doubling down on hate. And that's what's being dredged up, coming up from underneath with that Pluto and Aquarius. It's just pulling it all up. And we got all this stuff coming. And this month is going to be just as, it's going to be very, it's bringing up more of it. It's taking it to the level of, and it's very, this is where it's important to ask your guides for protection, ask your guides for relief. There's only so much the human body can withstand, and our nervous systems are taking a really big hit. Ask for help, take breaks, go out in nature, drink a lot of water, talk to your team. It's important to take this in small doses, because I get so angry sometimes, and I'm like, why am I immersing myself in this? This is what they want me to do.
Well, they do and they don't. They want to immerse you in it to make you crazy, but they want to now switch it over where they're making you crazy in order for you to not see what's being done and not know what's being done, so they can do more. They can sneak in this, or they can sneak in that.
They're parasites. They're despicable.
Absolutely. And Stephen Miller's at the head of it all.
Yeah.
Really, he's horrible.
And so you cut off the head of the parasite in some cases, or you put salt on them, or you do, something. And because it's not Trump. Trump's half dead. Trump's more than half dead. He's not got much longer.
So shall we read on this? What does the effect is all the info that's being revealed about Epstein et al. Have on those information packets Ghislaine has spread around the world? They were touted as her insurance policy. She did say yesterday, I believe, or the day before, that there are 25 men who should have been indicted with her, that she didn't do the bulk of it. They did. Is that what you're talking about, Anya? Is that the info packets that she spread around? Because I don't remember hearing about that. Did you know?
The reason, okay, I think I get what Anya's saying. The reason why she's alive, she's the only one that went to court. She's the only one that went to jail. But the reason why she's alive is she has left this inflammatory information in different places, and it's called a kill switch, right? Something happens to me, release it. And but she did say that yesterday, which kind of surprised me, because so that puts it, but we're talking about very devious, heartless, soulless demons, whatever you want to call them, that so maybe Ghislaine is now gonna turn over. She's not gonna do that. She's almost out of jail. She just went to a country club jail, so it's part of their psyop.
They never get in. They never last in there. And I just watched the Nuremberg trials, the old movie. There's a newer one out.
Yeah.
But all the officers that were given a life sentence that were involved with the Holocaust served 4 years of their life sentence, and they were released. And they said that's what happens every time. Unless you're given like the death sentence or whatever.
Who did that? Probably America. We allowed.
I don't know who did it, but America was in that movie. It was a combination of different people, but they're the ones who put them on trial.
And this
so,
okay, so America does the same thing. Okay, like, and this is hard to say. I love my country. I love the people here. We've been sold, a certain narrative, but it's. We've been very abusive to the rest of the world. And we
even before him.
Yeah, we killed We killed 100 million Native Americans, and we take over the country, and we think that's going to end well. Now I believe that there's a lot of energetically we've healed in a lot of ways, but you can't continue. We can't continue to allow them. Oh yeah, we'll take them to court. We'll put them in jail. They took all those guys from Germany and moved them to Venezuela and places like that. Got them out of there. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't suffer. And there's I've been digging into that real deep, where Hitler was known to be part Jewish. But there again was the two different kinds of Jews: the Zionists and the compassionate ones. And I can't remember the name of the word, but anyway, those compassionate ones were the ones that were killed. They didn't want they want the Zionists in charge, and this is it's been in the background the whole time since 1942, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's for sure. So I have that this thing, the info that's being revealed is meant to weigh options and consider the pros and cons. And today I did see that Elon Musk's name was on, and he asked Jeffrey Epstein for when he was having a party on his island. So I'm thinking, because remember, they went in and they redacted everything, or they just didn't release anything with who. But that doesn't mean he wouldn't release, because I know he's not probably real happy about Elon. But there's a lot of shadow that's going on here. There's a lot of people that have been living their shadow that we're going to find out about. And this will bring us a lot of clarity. But the problem is the way they have redacted them and released them, which was 3 million pages. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no index where you can go and find out what you want to find out. You have to dig.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't realize, right, how people are like the last ones they released, right? They thought they blacked them out. They thought they covered it up, but somebody got a hold of them and released all that information because they didn't do it right. They didn't. So all this redaction, we all know the truth. Okay, so here we are fighting over, is it light blue or dark blue? It's ridiculous at this point. Why are we doing that? You are a pedophile, known human trafficker with human traffickers, and we don't want you in our government anymore. End the subject, right? How come? Who's that group?
And then him coming out and saying, I can't have all those released because that would be too harmful for our government. So that tells me there's half the government.
Right. It would harm my friends.
My friends.
These are your friends. They kept these kids in cages, and the old men would go down the cage and they'd measure. It's sick. It's beyond sick. Anyway, I got Queen of Swords for Ghislaine Maxwell. She's playing some mental head games, right? Trying to use, so I got the Knight of Cups, triggering the emotions in people, right? But justice is coming.
It's just that we don't know when, and that it may not be for 5 more years. That's the hardest thing.
Well, I don't get that. Let's see. Why don't we ask how long for justice?
All right.
We can read on that. Let's ask.
I don't want to give anybody false hope.
Okay, well, this is for entertainment purposes only, and we are just
Hi, Leah.
Going into our intuition. Anybody Hasidic, thank you, Linda Bishop. Anyone can weigh in on anything they get. I would love to. It is a ball of snakes, Leah. And look, Leah, 27.
That I've got the Cupid's arrow, so that's between February 14th and the bull, which is Taurus.
Oh, I love that, how you did that, Allie. That is so
cool.
It
just worked out that way. We have here right and wrong in the middle, the V for vendetta. So it's like, I don't know.
Let me see. Say that. Show that one more time.
Okay, so we have Cupid's arrow, right? Then we have the
February.
V for Vendetta card. You know, if you ever watched that movie, which is
Yes.
fight for the greater good, put away your differences, and
Yeah.
have a thirst for revenge. And then we have the bull, and of course, to me, the bull means Taurus. So
Oh,
when is that? That's like I don't know, April 22nd or
yep.
something like that.
2020. Yes, 20.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on that timeline. Just what I was getting from my guides. Well, I asked it before, of course. But what I love about your cards, okay, Valentine's Day, because by the end of this month, I believe people are going to be together like V for Vendetta. We're going to have more of us together, more of us
Yep.
saying no,
Yep.
no, no, because no matter what his approval rating is, it's a lie. I always get 23% or lower. That it used to be 23 to 28%, and now I get 23% or lower. And we can read on that. But this is what they fear, is us coming together and it's just stopping. They don't need our money. They don't need our tax money. They print money every day. They can print money whenever they need it for whatever they need it for. Wars cost an untold amount of dollars, but when it comes to healthcare or something important, they don't have it. So I love how you got that, ALEY. Let me see what I got.
I know, that was amazing, because that doesn't always happen.
That's really cool. I love it. I got the King of Swords. Okay, now we're in Aquarius season, air sign, swords, right?
Swords.
And probably one of the most, Libras are a lot more into harmony and balance and bringing everybody together, right? And then we have, my brain just went blank. We have Aquarius, who's kind of detached and who's, but what Aquarius is the V for Vendetta. Okay, they're the ones who want the best for everybody. Yes, they want the best for everybody, but they're not going to really be emotionally, involved in it. What's the specific steps to get everyone there? So to me, this is representing the Aquarium, which is what we're in, is Aquarius, and we have a pile up of stellium, 3 or more planets. We have a stellium in Aquarius. We had a stellium in Capricorn. We're getting one in Aquarius. We're getting one in Pisces, and we're getting one in April, like ALEY was just saying. At the end of that stellium starts to break up when it goes into Taurus. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen in these 3-month period, because
for God's sake,
you can see Spirit wants to say something massive. This is big stuff. It never happens like that. Okay, it just never does. And I mean, we could go on and on about Saturn and Neptune on the 20th of February. There's no time where they were together at 0 degrees Aries that anybody has ever tracked, and they track pretty far back with astrology. So it's to me, we're in it, and we're getting dredged up as we're getting really pummeled by this, and we have to care for ourselves and each other. But I love that, ALEY. I love that. That was pretty cool.
It's interesting. And I for some reason, I was on Instagram the other day, and this lady popped up I've never seen before, and she was a psychic, and so I listened to her because it wasn't that long anyway. But she was saying, look at February 17th as being not a very good day for 47.
Okay, now what's February 17th? I got some big news there. That's the Aquarius solar eclipse at 28 degrees. Okay, this is where it gets spicy. And on the same day is the Chinese New Year, where we go into the fire horse.
Yeah. So that makes sense. There's something going to happen, whether it's like he goes to the hospital, whatever it is, I think. Yeah. Because eclipses take things out, right? Things out.
And then we're going to have another one the lunar eclipse on March 3rd.
Okay.
And oh goodness, my brain, Pisces, I believe. I don't.
Okay.
I'd have to look at my papers. There's so much going on; it's hard to keep it all in my head. But um, this is a huge eclipse season because it's just ripping it off. It's just gonna. It's time. Aquarius. I've been waiting for this because this Aquarius season is like the door opening to the age of Aquarius. We kind of been prepping for it for the last few years, but this is the time. Now we're just freshly in Aquarius season, so it's got a lot to play out. But that 28 degrees is significant. Those new moons, we will have 6 new moons at 28 degrees in a row. That ends on the spring equinox. Okay, we had 5 full moons in a row at 13 degrees. The number of the goddess. Okay, so the goddess is here, and all the goddesses, all the asteroids are really involved. 5 of those. So tomorrow, Sunday's full moon in Leo is the last 13-degree moon.
Okay.
Of the heart of the sun. So these are big. I mean, I could go on and on. To me, it's like amazing. But
this is interesting because there's a book that was written a number of years ago, and it is fabulous, and it is Native American, and it was about the 13 clan grandmothers. There's always in clans of Native Americans, the grandmothers run everything.
Yes.
They're the ones that are in charge, and they would tell people to go to war or whatever, but there's always 13 of them.
And the same thing with the 13. We're supposed to have 13 months, right? They when they changed the Gregorian calendar to 12, they messed up time, and that's not an exaggeration. They literally messed up time because they wanted us in time, right? They want us doing what we're being productive, so to speak. But before, when the women, the divine feminine was in charge, like the grandmothers, the world was a more peaceful place. And this is because that divine feminine was taken away. It messed up the divine masculine. So this is what we're coming back into balance. We're coming back into balance. And last week we had in Aquarius, we had Mars and Venus conjunct. Okay, the divine masculine, divine feminine together with the sun. Big. I mean, these last couple of weeks are huge. What's coming up is even bigger. And there's no way to say, oh, well, this or that's going to happen, because astrology's predictive to a little bit, but it's more hindsight. Oh, okay. So that happened.
That makes sense.
But, but I got judgment on. I don't even know why.
Right.
Yeah. Judgment coming in. This is, humanity's done. We've came here many lifetimes, enslaved, abused. There's a lot of pain and trauma we've been releasing all of our lifetimes, and here we are coming. We all thought, at least I did. I was hoping Kamala was going to win the last time, and we were going to be on this easy breezy, ascension upwards. But he took it.
All right. So Phyllis, there's going to be an eclipse on February 17th. And what's the other thing?
The fire horse.
The Chinese New Year fire horse comes in.
And so right now we're in the Chinese year of the wood snake. So think of all the things you've been shedding, all the things you've been purging, all the things you've been releasing. And it's so uncomfortable. And look at how uncomfortable we all are. But that is going to change, because something is coming in that's going to spark us to say, no more. We're done with this.
We're done.
And Leah's saying breakthroughs are always the hardest before leveling up. Yeah.
It's interesting because what happened to me over the weekend was that I got a dumpster in my yard. And some of you have heard this because you were on another show with me. But I wanted to purge everything that was in the garage because it
Yeah.
was full of mold and all kinds of stuff. So there I am. And then I think, well, I got to get rid of some of the stuff in here too, whether I sell it, give it away, whatever. And I had an epiphany that I was too spendy, and that it isn't a hoarder, like a situation where you can't walk, it's like dirty or anything. It's just that, I have this 300 cards or 300 things for my journal stuff, or it's too much stuff. And it was like, oh my God. And once I made that admission to myself and spoke it to Keith and others, I felt an extremely lighter self, like, oh my God. And when I told some of the other ladies, they said, it's in the astrology. And that's exactly what you just said. Yeah.
It really is. I'm so glad that's happening for you, because our community is spiritually based. We're pretty ahead of the curve, let's say. I've been purging a lot too, and not even understand. Wow, I didn't even see that. I didn't even know I was doing that. It was so unconscious, whatever it is. But we're all doing it. We're all going to come through this, because we don't need to live like that. We don't need lots and lots of stuff. I like this from Linda Bishop. Aren't we supposed to have 13 Supreme Court judges?
I think we were. Yeah.
And what happened? Why did okay? So I get mad at Biden. Why did you knew he was capable of this? Why would you allow this to go on without some sort of protections for us? Biden was very close with the BB, the war criminals.
Yeah, I know, that's the problem. So is Obama. They were tied in there. But what really, I didn't pick on Merrick Garland like a lot of people did, because I knew that he was meticulous when he went after the Oklahoma City bomber. But he was not efficient with Jack Smith and with other things that needed to be taken care of. And that really screwed us over. But that's a Democrat thing. I'm sorry. Democrats, they go to, like they're saying right now, oh, we made it we're not going to fund ICE, but then they're saying we made an agreement with the president that they can do this for 2 weeks, and then we'll don't do that. It makes me so mad.
Well, we got to keep calling them, right? We got to keep calling them, because we can all see by now they haven't spoke up. They haven't stood up. This is the first thing that they actually did that was any significance to this whole entire issue. We are done. I'm not. You don't negotiate with terrorists. You don't negotiate with the devil. Why would you even say that? Like, we're not out here ignorant, and we can see you. But I had that epiphany, that one a long time ago, where I started calling myself an independent after what I saw what they did with Bernie. And and I didn't realize it was as bad as it is, because there's no reason why our nation is going through this trauma because of this, and nobody's doing nothing. I don't know, that really gets me hot. I can't get rid of a lot of stuff, not cards and not stones. No.
I'm gonna end up putting them up for sale. Some of them that I don't use and don't want anymore.
Where are you going to put them? I'll buy some.
Well, I'll probably have some. I'm hoping to have on my website, my store opening up. So, but it's going to take a while, but I'll let everybody know. Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool. Website and store. And see, that's exactly what it is. Okay, we're being pulled in two directions, right? We're watching the chaos of the old era die, and we're in shock, right? We're like, oh my goodness, everything I know is going away. But at the same time, we're creating the new in the new era, and that's based on what your heart is. That's the only way forward, is to follow your heart and to do what you love. Yeah, there is a lunar eclipse on March 3rd. Viewable in the USA. I didn't know that. Thank you for saying that. I want to say
Um,
this though, Ali, about this full moon on Sunday
mhm.
in Leo. It's at 13 degrees. We go back a month, okay, and think of what all that's happened in a month, right? That
Uh-huh.
last full moon was in Cancer and it was at 13 degrees. That is exactly the degree of America's Sibley charts birth sign. It's a
Uh-huh.
Cancer sun at 13 degrees, right? And that moon was directly across from it a month ago. And here
Mm-hmm.
we see everything that's come out in the last month that's coming
Yeah.
up
Do that.
to be
Yeah. And yet
looked
there's
at.
still so much. But by the way,
Oh,
everybody, I put it in here. Trump now owns Netflix.
no.
He bought
What?
it. Yeah, he did.
Well, he's stole so much money from America. He wants to sue America. He's suing our
I know.
IRS for $60
I know.
billion.
I know.
And
Yeah.
see, that stuff is just. When did he do this? When did he buy Netflix?
Fairly recently. And he also, if you use TikTok, be very, very careful because
I don't
they,
use it.
it is owned by an American and he's like a friend of you know who. And there's all kinds of new things that you have to agree to. And you can't say a word about you know who. You
Right.
can't say one word about him. And yeah, it's just
Or
everything.
Israel.
Yeah,
And
or
that's it.
Israel.
And
Yeah,
they got all that technology from Israel IDF forces. And do you know that ICE is training with Israeli IDF
yeah,
forces in Israel, and they're in our nation doing ICE
yeah,
raids. This is
yeah.
why the brutality. And as
It is.
soon see that I'm saying these things because the more that you realize who you're dealing with, because they've wiped out an entire population of people, pretty
I
much.
know they did.
I, I mean, what I've
So
seen
they could
them,
build condos. That's really the whole gist of it. They did that so they
what,
could build condos on the water. If you come right down to it. Yeah.
absolutely, but they have them convinced the extremists over there
Mm-hmm.
that if you
Mm-hmm.
don't kill the children, because they're like kill all the. I've watched videos where the regular people, and they all do like 2 years in the military, but kill them
Mm-hmm.
all, kill the children because they just grow up to be the Hezbollah. Well, do you know who created Hezbollah and ISIS? Israel. I've been digging and digging. I got so much information, and it's probably not very smart for me to talk about, but I don't really care. Um,
Oh,
I'm not
Jane,
gonna be in. What
is it
happened?
Jane the Seeker or Wisdom Seeker Joan? Who is it that's missing a relative? Because I was just on with
That
Joan yesterday.
Jane,
I,
wisdom
but
seeker, Joan's son's
she lives in
friend.
St. Paul. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
her
God.
son's friend is missing. Yes, we are sending him lots of.
I was
We read
just
on
on with
him.
you yesterday. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, honey. I was just on with her yesterday. She didn't tell me, so it must have just happened.
I mean, he
But
might have gotten out. We were reading on it the other day, and I think we were.
okay.
I can't. I don't want. Well, that
Wow.
was a private thing, so I don't want to talk about it. But
Okay. Yeah.
it's not a relative. It's a friend of her son's.
Well, we're sending certainly
ICE,
MBO.
ICE
Yeah.
isn't saying that he, um,
Is with them.
yeah,
Or
but
yeah.
we read on it as a group of psychics, and we got
Yeah. It's okay.
and
It's
he's
okay.
okay. Yeah.
Well, I asked her yesterday if it was true that people were being picked up. Everything in their car is stolen, their phone, everything. And they even their coat, and then they leave them in the woods in the
Yep.
middle of this horrible. I said, "Is that true?" And she said, "Yes, it
Yes.
is." Yeah.
I want you to understand this. This is what they learned through the IDF soldiers. Okay, the brutality is the point. They're gonna push women down in front of you so you don't stand up. They're gonna throw you in the woods so you don't speak up again.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how then this is what is really infuriating, and then we'll get back to some better thoughts. They move them from prison to prison. I'm going to call them prisons. They're actually concentration camps. I'm not going to call them detention centers, because the Geo Group and those that are making money off for-profit prisons, making our taxpayer money. Their stocks are hitting the roof. They're making so much money because if they can't find them, they can't give them a court date. But then they just keep moving them and making money off it. Do you see? This is why they move people like they do, and it's you know, I don't know why this can't be stopped. Why didn't the Dems immediately say, stop this, or we will not fund you. We will not fund you for anything. We won't fund the government if you don't stop this. I mean, this is how serious this is.
I know. Yeah.
Yep. So we all need to call and voice that.
Wow. So I may be wrong, Cher. I just saw though that he purchased $250,000 to $500,000 in Netflix bonds, along with amounts for Discovery Channel. It just wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, yep.
Mm-mm. No, and you know that I want you to know this too, okay? Because like I said, I've been doing a lot of research, and it's not good. It's not good information. But the reason why I'm saying it is so you're educated and you don't live in fear.
Right.
The person that is in charge of our military's procurement of where the money goes is the main banker in Israel.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
No, and we give Israel all this money. First of all, the Pentagon has failed 8 audits. There's trillions of dollars missing. We give Israel and other nations, but I'm going to still focus on Israel. We give them money for their people have free healthcare, free education, a beautiful retirement. You have a child, the mother, the father, and the child get a check every month. They live beautiful lives. They get discounts for everything. They live the lives that we are paying for our citizens to live that do not receive any of that. And you can bet your butt the first is coming, and he's going to play with people's benefits again.
I know.
Yeah. So
we should all sue Social Security or the government for getting involved in our Social Security because they stole all our information.
Class action lawsuits we can do against him. That's the only way to fight against him. But just because it looks bleak, and just because there's all these there is a lot of stuff. They can't keep up with as much as they're throwing into the mix. They can't.
Yeah, they're juggling too much,
right,
and giving us too much overwhelm at the same time. Yeah,
but they can't keep up with how we're raising in frequency. They can't keep up with that. We can see right through it. We're all just looking at them like, are you serious? Really? And I'd say that's probably at least, the most, I'd say 3/4 of the population of the world is like raising in frequency. The rest are going to continue to play out their third dimension thing. But I don't think that this isn't how we go down. The energies are different. Time's not the same. I could sit here and say it's going to take 5 years and things are going to take, but I don't believe that because I've never heard that. I'm first of my guides, and things are on a fast track of us going up the spiral, and we stick together. I don't know if reports indicate Trump acquired. Yeah, he's made a lot of money off of the American public.
Well,
And
I'm not happy about $500 million in a Qatar bank account. I'm not happy about all the grifting that he's doing, and
Mhm,
people are paying for pardons, and we're seeing people that are pardoned out there on the street, and
mhm,
they're committing crimes again, the same
mhm,
kinds of crimes. And so it's he wants lawlessness so he can then take over with martial law, which is
mhm,
something that we've been told forever. So,
mhm.
yeah.
He's something's about to snap. I know we've all felt that for quite a long time, but this is
Uh-huh.
really with these eclipses and this stuff. They're just pushing. They're putting too much in the fire. They're
Mhm.
overdoing it.
The
Uh,
other thing I think people really need to be aware of that most people, it's not really on your radar completely, is AI. It's totally manipulative. It's horrible for our brains, and it takes a lot of water for, it's hard to believe, but you have to have a lot of regular water in order to use it. It's
to run the data centers, yeah.
it's just really a bad thing in a lot of ways. It really, really
And
is.
it is a bad thing, especially how those that created it,
Already created it. Right.
yeah,
Right.
because there is an authentic AI. I get that from my team, but that there's also because of a this is I got this the other day, and I'm curious to see if it falls through. Again, this is entertainment purposes only, and I don't know anything, but. I was like, how can they sustain? Are they going to just ruin more of the water that's already ruined? And they said they have no choice but to introduce to you free energy to keep this going because there's obviously other ways to keep things going. So
Yeah.
let's hope. Let's hope that they're, all of the, and this is, what I keep seeing and what they're showing me right now. All these horrid things that are going on, there's always a silver lining. There's an opposite of whatever that is.
Yep.
And just know that is um, where we're at. We're right in the middle of the heart. We're in the hardest part of it. And I don't know why we had to come all the way to this extent, you know,
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
It is. It
Um,
is.
does anyone want a reading before we go, or do you want to just do a reading for the
We can
week?
do a collective read.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do collective.
Yeah. All right.
And we're already at an hour, and I'm sorry if this was heavy. It is.
What
It
I
is.
wanted to make sure you knew was that there's a purpose, there's a reason for what he is doing and his minions. They want us to be so overwhelmed that we just give up and that we don't listen to the news anymore. And so throwing all this into this, look over here, look over here, look over here, look over. They're doing that on purpose. And it's just an admonition to be careful of buying into that energy, but also to realize that, what we're seeing done, for instance, in Minneapolis, in that area, is exactly what we're going to have to be asked to do later. We will be. We are the only ones that can save ourselves.
That's
And
right.
so we have to do something. So
And you're absolutely right. We the people, it's our country.
yeah.
And we've allowed them stewardship, and they took advantage, and now we know better, right?
Oh, Mom. Wow. This reading. So tonight the cards are really talking. We have tough decisions. We're at a crossroads and there's no going back. We're at a fork in the road. Do not think we can go back. We want convenience because we've lived it. We've really had a very convenient life. And we weren't satisfied with the life we had. We always thought something else was better. We are tempted, but the risks and rewards are really difficult to manage, because I get the apple, and then I get, when the time is right, the alarm will go off and we'll be called to do the ones. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That is so cool, ALEY. You are on fire tonight with your readings.
That is. These cards are speaking to me tonight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's see what I got. Oh, okay, cool. I got a few here. Okay. I got we're fogged in. Go slow. Take your time. Allow this all to, we're not think about it like this. Until spring equinox, there's no need to be making any rash movements, rushing out, doing anything.
Yeah.
Let this all play out, right? Because we are a little bit, and nurture yourself. Take care of your nervous system. It is so important to know that. Travel lightly. This is what Ellie was talking about. Simplify your life. Travel lightly. Take it easy. Be lighthearted. Have fun. I mean, that's I love when Allie laughs. It's been a while since I've really laughed. But we're it's been a while. We've been all going through.
I'm watching old movies and they're making me laugh. So that's what you need to do. Yeah.
I love that. Or music, whatever it is, whatever does it for you. Playing with your animals. My cats are saving my life. Really, they are. Animals, But then I got this. This is a crystalline light body. Build your crystalline Merkaba. Know that's all this. Yes, all this higher frequency coming in is building us, helping us go from carbon to crystalline, calling your protection, calling your angels, your dragons, your guides, your higher consciousness beings, whoever. They're there for you. We got this together. And yes, we're watching the most ugly of ugly, right? And I'm not going to say it's human because it's not. These are heartless and soulless. And they aren't going to be around much longer. And then I got the law of grace.
Oh.
Be your divine essence. Dissolve all in grace. Dissolve all of this every night. Make sure you send it back out. Call your energy in and send all of this disturbing stuff back out. And clear your energy field, because this way then you lighten the load on your nervous system. Our nervous system is everything right now. Watch dog videos. That's what I do. Dog videos, cat videos.
You guys, you got to see the one with the dogs with all the buttons on the floor. Like one of them said, I'm hungry. And the person said, you just ate a little while ago. You don't need to eat. And he pushed this button. It said, bitch.
I love those buttons. I want to get my buttons. They're hilarious. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, we the earth is, she's so strong, and she's with us. She's fighting this with us. She's raising up too. All the solar system is.
Yep, that's true.
We're going to get through this. Now, I love hanging out with you, Allie. I hope it wasn't too heavy. Everybody would love you.
Those things needed to be said, and then we need to just let it go and go watch funny dog videos.
Go watch funny dog. I'll give you some obsidian to absorb that negativity.
Absorb that negativity. That's right.
We love y'all. It's so important. Thank you, Allie, for being here.
We'll see in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Love y'all. Be safe out there.
Yep. Bye-bye.
See if this works now.